Hello everyone, my name is Saji Lewis. I am your Miss Tourism Commonwealth Canada, and I've had the pleasure with this whole entire week and these upcoming months and this journey, and I want to tell you all about it. Miss Tourism Commonwealth came at a time in my life, I strongly believe, that was the perfect time for me. Up until then, I had done a few pageants, and I joined pageantry particularly at that point because I wanted to just use a platform and use my femininity at the same time to speak on something that was very impactful. But when tourism came around, I was feeling this need and this craving to use my platform to educate others and also force myself to educate myself on things that are happening around the world and that are also have a consensus and that everybody can agree on. So to me, Miss Tourism Commonwealth has impacted me in that it's actually gone me to the point intellectually where I've wanted to go. It's stretched me. It's made me come out of my comfort zone because there's a lot that's required of you. You have to be out there on social media. You have to talk to people, strike conversations with people with power, and that was very hard at the time. And I think most importantly, it's made me believe in myself a lot more. Despite my experiences in life and what I've done, there's still a part of me that lacks confidence, and this opportunity has had to force me to believe in myself again. So I think that was the biggest impact. It was the personal development and the intellectual ascent, but also the self-confidence that's been able to be built. I would say take it easy. Take it one step at a time. There were women, I joined pageantry and I started doing this because I saw one woman, she had a very, very important title, Miss Universe 2017, Demi Lee Thibault. And at the time, she was explaining her story, how she got there, but she was not born with a title. She had to work towards it. She was going to be competing in an English-speaking country. She's from South Africa, so she was having to learn English, and she was doing all these steps, and I realized this was in 2021. When I started doing this, I said, listen, I'm not going to get here next year. I had to start training, and within a year, I was thinking about applying. So I would say, number one, take it easy. Start one step at a time. Make sure that you plan your life out without being too unspontaneous. And I would also say, take the time to know yourself, to know your values, because every opportunity brings out something different in you, and it's up to you to know yourself, to know if it's something you can step into. So know yourself and know what you can handle and know your values. Well, despite living here for over 14 years, I'm from Haiti, so I've lived in the Hamilton area. Toronto was new for me. So it wasn't the fact that we were in the host country that was really fun. It was the fact that we were in Toronto. I don't get to experience Toronto a lot. We got to do things that I've never done. I've been to Niagara Falls, but we went all the way underneath with a tunnel in the falls. That was very thrilling for me. I got to go to the Eaton Centre Mall. The Toronto Zoo was mind-blowing for me. So I would say my favorite part was figuring out new places in this area. And on my end, representing Canada, listen, there is still research that has to be done. I can't just come out there without any research. So I learned a lot about the history, for example, of our Indigenous cultures. I learned a lot about the Commonwealth. I learned a lot about just the history of Canada as a whole and what the tourism industry brings to Canada, the numbers that it brings. I learned how much to the GDP that it adds. I learned so much pertaining to tourism and how it impacts people, the environment, and the economy, most importantly. As I stated before, one of the things that I really focused on was Indigenous tourism. According to Destination Indigenous, 1 in 3 Canadians actually want to experience more of Indigenous tourism. And I didn't know what that was. So what is Indigenous tourism? The idea, just the name just didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand what it was. But I really got to understand that, first of all, in terms of the numbers, prior to the pandemic, the Indigenous community actually brought in $2 billion towards the revenue that in Canada and tourism particularly. So that's already a huge advantage. The Indigenous community is playing a huge role in tourism in Canada. So my heart, however, was a little bit distraught when I saw the impacts, disproportionate impacts of the indigenous communities from the pandemic. So that being said, within the Commonwealth countries, I want to reach out. I want to create a program that will allocate a certain amount of funds towards every indigenous country, cultures in each of these Commonwealth countries, in order to bring them together, in order to give them enough support and resources, in order to be able to take advantage of each of their indigenous tourism. Because I think a lot of cultures are dying, but the primal cultures, first and foremost, are the ones that are suffering a lot. And it would be a shame if you go to a country to figure out its culture and the foundation is just, ripping away. So I wanted to create a program particularly for women in tourism, indigenous communities, where they can have enough funding and we can collaborate together within Commonwealth countries in order to support them and to maintain their economy and their environment, most importantly.